Hello, good evening. Welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. On this program, we look at the key stories that newspapers and news houses have churned out in the week. We go behind the headlines and bring you incisive analysis on them with our guests who are persons who have good understanding of those issues. As always, the week has been great. A number of things have happened. The first matter we want to look at is the Chairman Wontumi conviction and sentencing. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party is being sentenced to 20 years in imprisonment with hard labor after the court found him guilty of some offenses related to illegal mining activities or mining activities, that he facilitated an unlicensed mining operation and that he permitted people to mine in his concession without authorization from the minister, as the law prescribes. These are the two issues that nailed him, and is to spend 20 years in jail. Yes, so that is quite straightforward, but it's the matters around the conviction and the sentencing that have generated a lot of discussion, and we'll look at some of them. People think that this is political witch hunting. People think, in fact, the minority in parliament has called him a prisoner, a political prisoner. Do you accept that, or you think it's about time persons in responsible positions are held accountable to what they do? To whom much is given, we say much is required. Should he have known better? Others also think that it is his own utterances that took him to the cross. What do you think? We'll be interested to know your views on that. You can join the discussion by joining via WhatsApp on 020 on our WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number will be on your screen in a couple of minutes. But also, Musa Danko has been rating MPs. Some MPs have not taken kindly to that. His polls have rated some MPs. Some have done very well, others have not, and others have been complaining that he did not have to rate them. Indeed, it's not the first person to do that. In the past, we've seen other institutions, CSOs, rating MPs. MPs have normally not taken it kindly. Those who are scored highly are happy, but as it is in any endeavor, those who have not done so well are really not happy. The Midyear budget was read today, and the Minister for Finance says the economy is doing well. They've promised to build 10 new senior high schools. Some taxes have been scrapped off fruit juices and a number of things. But the minority says that the budget or the mid-year budget review has been uninspiring and that it's been full of propaganda and untruths. We will delve into that as well and see whether indeed the indicators that the finance minister says are doing well and indeed appear so are having any impact on your life as a Ghanaian. These are the matters before us today. I'll take a short break. I'll return. I'll tell you really what the papers are saying by way of headlines, and then we will introduce our guests and get a discussion. And once again, this is what the papers are saying. You're welcome.
From across Ghana to the heart of Tamale, the very best of made in Ghana products, services, innovation, education, enterprise, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate organizations are all coming together at one exciting event. The Northern Business Fair 2026, your one-stop destination to discover, shop, connect, network, and explore new business opportunities in Northern Ghana. Whether you are an entrepreneur, investor, student, business owner, or consumer, this is where Ghanaian excellence meets opportunity. Join us on Saturday 25th and Sunday 26th July 2026 at Jubilee Park, Tamale from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Are you ready to showcase your business to the nation and beyond? Call 0205-973-973 now and secure your spot. The Northern Business Fair 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from City FM, and it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank, the National Petroleum Authority, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, North Shore Apparel Ghana Limited, and SIC Insurance PLC. The Northern Business Fair 2026, your market, your connections, your growth.
Hello, you're welcome back. This is What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Salom Adunu. The show, as always, is live and interactive, and you can join us via WhatsApp line 020-444-7033, and we'll be happy to share your views with the rest of the world. Chairman Wontumi has been convicted and sentenced to 20 years in jail in hard labor. The Midyear budget review was presented today to Parliament by the Finance Minister, Ato Forcing. And also, Musa Danqua's Global Info Analytics is being polling and rating MPs. Do you know how your MP fared? Are you interested in knowing? We will speak to Musa on that. So he makes us appreciate what went into it. All right, so let's start off with the Chairman Wontumi matter. The Ghanaian Times: fight against illegal mining. Wontumi jailed 20 years. MPP rejects conviction. Heads to Court of Appeal. The Archives: Galamsey, inverted commas, swallow first kingpin as Wontumi jailed 20 years. Anti-Galamsey campaigners demand harsher punishment. The Spider: political earthquake. Wontumi jail term ignites national firestorm. Political earthquake. Wontumi jail term ignites national firestorm. What a headline. The Chronicle: minority declares Wontumi political prisoner. GraphicOnline.com: MPP will appeal Wontumi conviction. Describes judgment as flawed. CityNewsroom.com: Bawumia visits Wontumi, assures him of MPP's support. We'll look at the second matter, the 2026 Midyear budget review. Question is government spending in a prudent way and delivering value for money? GraphicOnline.com: funds to be allocated in 2027 budget for a permanent solution to flooding issues in Accra and elsewhere in Ghana. Ato Forcing. CityNewsroom.com: government to scrap 20% excise duty on locally made fruit juices. Ato Forcing. Channel1newsonline.com: Ato Forcing: Ghana's economy won't return to emergency room under Mahama. 3news.com: Midyear budget. Clearly, Ghana is working again. Mahama Ayariga. MyJoyOnline.com: full of English, empty promises. Afenyo marking attacks 2026 Midyear budget review. All right, let me deal with the matter of Wontumi. So now Samuel Atachia, the lead counsel for the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entry-Bosiakun, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has criticized the trial judge's decision to proceed with judgment without referring constitutional issues raised in the case to the Supreme Court. He recalled that the defense has filed an application raising constitutional issues that required interpretation by the Apex Court. He spoke to Channel 1 News' Endo Safo on Tuesday, July 21.
Surprised because serious constitutional issues have been raised before the judge. And by now, you know, the Forum for Constitutional Interpretation is not the High Court. In terms of Article 130, it is the Supreme Court. So I thought that in all fidelity to law and also due process, the judge will make a referral. I thought I could get a date when I return from my trip abroad, which was just, I'm returning tomorrow. God be in my help. But the judge said, no, She will not have any of that. And that she wants to go on and give a bench ruling that she has interpreted the Constitution and there's no need for her to make a referral to Supreme Court. I believe that we could pursue this further and get the whole decision quashed.
Counsel, have you had any communication with Chairman Wontumi since the sentencing was handed down?
No, please, because he's in Sawan prison. Probably when I come into the realm, I'll find him.
Well, the NPP has indicated that it intends to appeal, and his former lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, has expressed a similar view. Are you still Chairman Wontumi's lawyer, and will you be leading any appeal on his behalf?
Well, what I've heard, which I will not subvert, is a hard fact that the NPP legal team want to have a collaboration with me, which I will not resent. For one simple reason, that when you have a congregation of lawyers, the quality or the output is always good. So unless you are cocky, that you resent the fact that some lawyers are joining you to do a good job. So it will be a collaboration, and I welcome that.
All right, so you heard Lawyer Tachia, counsel for Chairman Wontumi, in that matter that saw him sentenced and is currently serving a jail term, a 20-year jail term at the Insawan prisons, we understand. You were speaking there to Eno Safo on Channel 1 News on Tuesday, 21st July. He was speaking obviously from his base abroad, where he left, or he went ahead of the decision, the judgment on the day. If you recall, he had applied to the court for adjournment, but the court refused the application. And it also must be said that adjournment is for the convenience of the court, and adjournment is at the discretion of the court. So a lawyer applying for adjournment is not a done deal. The court will have to decide. The court will have to see if it is convenient to the court, and the judge or the court has discretion to do so. So refusing an adjournment application is something judges do every time. Judges do that every time. I have suffered it myself. Sometimes you want an adjournment on this date, the court will tell you, I cannot give you that date, so let's do it now, or let's do it on the day that we have set. So it's pretty normal. And there were other issues that also came up. So in their written submission, they challenged a few things, and they wanted the court to refer the matter, which they deemed a constitutional matter, to the Supreme Court for interpretation, because they refer to Article 19, which in essence, amongst other things, talks about the fact that you cannot be convicted, or you cannot be tried and convicted on the law which does not state certain things and which does not prescribe the punishment. They had issues with Section 14 and 99 or so of the Minerals Act, on which Chairman Wontumi was tried. The court said that no interpretation issue in its view arose, and if anything at all came up, it was a statutory interpretation which the High Court was entitled to decide, and it was not a constitutional matter. It will be interesting to see how the lawyers for Wontumi deal with that. But to help me do the discussion today, Gordon Asare Bediakun, he is a journalist, editor-in-chief of the ABC News, and also host of the Betrim program on Wontumi TV, which actually airs from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturday. So the Wontumi conviction, he appears to have first-hand experience of it. He's here in the studio, and he'll help us, do the discussion. And also Musa Dankwa, who is a pollster, executive director for the Global Info Analytics. He has been causing difficulties for a few MPs, but we'll get into that. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the program. Let me start off with you, Gordon. I mean, interesting, but those of you have some engagement or some interest in Wontumi's TV station. I mean, interest as in you have a program there.
Yes.
Did you guys see this coming, that on the judgment day, your boss Wontumi would be jailed? Do you guys see that coming?
Thank you very much, Salom, man. It's a sad day for me. I mean, since Monday, I've had sleepless nights. Beside the fact that I work at Movement TV, which is one of the media houses that is owned by Chema Wontumi, we have personal relationship. Even before I started working for him, at least once a month, once a month, like first Sunday of the month, he will call and check up on me, even when I was working at Kansas City Media.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've known Chema Wontumi for about 30 years.
30 years?
Yes, about 30 years. I attended Pukware.
Okay.
And he attended Prep College. Yes, so I've known him since...
will you say you are contemporaries?
Almost.
Not quite. Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Wow.
Well, he's 50 now.
50
I'm 40. I'm 4 years shy of 50.
Okay.
So I've known him for years. He hasn't really changed. He doesn't really like talking.
Oh, he doesn't like talking?
No.
But he doesn't come across like that. For those of us who don't know him personally, we only see him on TV and at events. We don't see him as someone who doesn't like talking.
No, he's a bit weird. Yeah, he's a bit weird unless you are a bit closer to him. But when he's in his elements, doing politics, of course, he'll be out there. But he doesn't really like talking. He doesn't really even like mingling with a lot of people.
Really?
He doesn't have friends.
Really?
Yes. Wontumi doesn't have friends. Few people. I've gone to his house to see him sitting alone in his house. And I tell the chairman, no, you need to have people around you. So he's a different person altogether. On Monday, what we feared most happened.
Whoa.
Yeah, what we feared most happened. And
why did you fear it? Did you fear it because, given the facts as you knew them, that were the facts before the court, you thought that your boss, could be found guilty, or you thought political hands may disturb, even though it's a judicial matter and the court
You see,
dealing with it?
I'm being very careful with my choice of words because we are going to go on appeal to seek to overturn the ruling by the High Court. And so if you are not careful and you go out there to bastardize the court, it is the same court yesterday you are going to use to correct the so-called injustice.
Yeah.
And so you should be a bit cautious as to how you approach the whole issue. I was worried about the commentary people were making whilst the case was ongoing. I was tempted to believe that the Ghanaian is more inclined to alternative dispute resolution as compared to hardcore court litigation. Because the issues which were being dealt with in court were not the same as the issues which were being discussed outside. A lot of people were saying that, Chema Wontumi should go and apologize to the president, Chema Wontumi should go and apologize to the family. And I kept asking myself, what has that got to do with the case in court? But I'm a realist. Okay? I kept asking that, but as I say, I'm a realist. And so somebody will say that may influence, not the judgment, but that may influence the decision to send, to prosecute Chema Wontumi.
The decision to prosecute, often is a political one. That's why the Attorney General initiates that.
Exactly. And so when somebody draws in political images, political lines, you cannot fault the person. You cannot, because it is a political decision.
People think that his utterances, maybe when he had power, when he was in power, may have landed him in trouble. Do you share that? And so that's why it's quite strange you are saying that he doesn't like talking. He's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
But here's a man people think his utterances led him to this point. Did you share in that?
You see, to some extent, I would share in that opinion because I spoke to a lot of people within the NDC and the MPP, some neutral people. They kept on talking to us that we should find some prominent people whom the president reveres, so that they can go to him and then apologize on behalf of Chema Wontumi, or even Chema Wontumi goes there himself and apologize to him. I happen to get closer to some people relatively closer to the family of the first, to the first family. One of them told me that Chairman Wontumi made a certain comment about one of the daughters of President Mahama, and it really hurt the president and the girl herself when she went to school, and it painted a picture that some of the political comments by Chairman Wontumi didn't help.
But were those things he said factual, or he was just in this political element and said those things?
Oh, for me, some of them were when he was in political elements. Politicians do that, okay? And so I also wonder, they've all done it to each other. So why would you take offense when it is done to you? Remember, the president, then in opposition, called the whole tribe or ethnic community Achimsa Kawa Mafia. All these things have come. But for me, politicians should be measured with whatever that they say.
I see.
That one beside, the first day that we went to court, the first court hearing, I was there with Chairman Wontumi. I think either court 1 or court 4. When we were done with one of the courts, and we were about leaving the courtroom, in fact, I had stepped out, and then a source told me that they were preparing to arrest Chairman Wontumi if he decided to leave that courtroom. And I said, but what is this? So I went to alert lawyer Andy Apiakubi that this is what I've heard. So he also decided to go out and then confirm. So when the court hearing was over, lawyer Andy Apiakubi said we should not step out of the courtroom and that Chairman Wontumi should stay behind. Then lo and behold, we saw security people, the police, CID, national security, saying that we should move out of the court premises. And then the people said, no, this is a public place. The court hearing is over, but we can decide to sit here for a while. Then 15-20 minutes time, we had a confirmation that he had another court hearing, okay, in another court. And I don't know whether it was, so he's been going in between court 1 and then court 4. So we went in an hour's time, went to the other court. When his charges were read, almost the same charges. The difference was that the difference was the location. The first one was Samra Boy, and then the second one was Tano Nimri Forest. A lot of people, some of the lawyers there, though they were young, they said, but then why don't they join the case? So because virtually the charges are the same, they didn't join. Then later on, this case was supposed to be adjudicated virtually every day or every other day. So Wontumi, whose official residence is in Kumasi, will have to come to Accra virtually every other day. It was problematic. And the kind of things that we heard, we didn't anticipate. Honestly, we didn't anticipate that Chairman Wontumi will go scot-free. We realized that it was more political than a judicial process. And then the judgment was handed down to him. Of course, no matter how modest the judge wanted to be, she couldn't have come down less than 15 years per the law. So I think she chose the middle line between 15 and then 25.
I think she said the mitigation and things,
and the first time offense,
and first time offense and all of
yes,
that.
And that kind of thing.
Let me take Musa's opening remarks on this. Musa, so yes, you have been doing a lot of political polling. You've been a political watcher, etc. This matter was in court, decided by the court. What was your initial thoughts when you heard that Wontumi was in court on matters like this, and subsequently or eventually it was Judgment Day? What were your thoughts, given all the things which were happening?
Chairman is the MPP, is the regional chairman for Ashanti region. For that matter, MPP's heartbeat. So he is a very prominent political figure. And Galamsey has been top of the issues for many years. And people were crying about Galamsey. And I think when he was arrested and charged for those offenses, initially, I think we thought that he was caught doing Galamsey himself in those forests. Until the charge sheet were read and we realized that someone else is in the forest mining, and the prosecution claims that he kind of authorized someone to work on his lease without approval from the minister, which is a criminal act under the law. So he was being persecuted. But I think it was very difficult. I don't want to be circumstantial, but being a gold miner and his story in gold mining, it was difficult to say that he was not aware of what the guys were doing there. I think it was really difficult. Even though you couldn't prove it, as the lawyers say, prove beyond reasonable doubt, probably they couldn't do that. But I think his involvement in mining did not help him to that extent. But in terms of political, look, he's politician, so definitely, yeah, it has been a political decision. But once it's in the courtroom, at that point, I think it ceases to be political anymore. Unless we think that the judges are politically biased in what they do. Once it's moved from the Attorney General, because he could have decided to withdraw the case and not pursue it. And that would have been political, right? But they do file only political in many cases. But here they pursued it. But once it went into the courtroom, it wasn't political.
The facts and the evidence.
And the evidence. And
So talking about the facts, not to talking about the facts. So there are a number of cases Wontumi has. There's a Tano Nimri forest matter and a few other cases. But this was in relation to the Samri Boy mining case. And the facts of the matter are that, he has concession, he has license to mine in a certain part of that area. He mined a part of it, and then not allegedly, the court found that he allowed two gentlemen or two persons who were later used by the court as prosecution witness to mine in the areas. And the law really is that it is the minister who can give you authorization to transfer your license or to transfer your lease or your right to somebody in the manner he did. And it's a huge offense if you do it on your own. So that was the matter. So it wasn't as if he was engaged himself in illegal mining. He had the license. He was not mining particularly in that place. That's not the matter. The matter is that he transferred his rights to somebody else without authorization from the minister. And it's such a huge matter that said that it, to the extent that it attracts, a jail term of between 15 and 25 years. 15 and 25 years. And also, a fine of not less than 10,000 penalty units and not more than 15,000 penalty units. And the interesting thing about some of these offenses and the punishments attached to them is that it's together. So there's the fine and the prison terms. There are times you hear a fine or the prison term. This one is the fine and prison term. So having established all the facts with the evidence, etc., the judge's hands pretty much were tied. The judge could only sentence him to between 15 and then 25 years. The judge couldn't have sentenced him to 5 years in jail or 10 years. The minimum would have been 15 years and maximum would have been 25 years. But the judge decided to give him the middle, term, which is 20 years. So the judge didn't give him the lowest. The judge didn't give him the highest. The judge gave him 20 years. So that is the situation. What do you make of people who think that indeed his arrest and prosecution and subsequent sentencing signals a certain momentum in the fight against illegal mining? These are the kingpins we talk about, and now we began arresting and caging the kingpins. You share in that view that this paves the way for more kingpins to be arrested and punished?
No, I think so. It's big enough character in the political space. And that will give the current government the right to pursue their own, because they cannot overlook some of their kingpins, which we know they are involved. I don't know how closely or how far they are.
You know some of them to give them the lead.
We heard them that their people are involved. I didn't say it. The president said that. So I think once you have caged opposition chairman, it will be very difficult for you to turn a blind eye on your own. That will be very untenable for the government, and they need to pursue them wherever they are and whoever they are. I don't believe anybody has the right to destroy the forest and mine illegally and destroy the environment as we've seen it in recent times. No.
Let me, so, I mean, I know there was a whole strategy about changing lawyer, etc. These things happen. But on the day of the judgment itself, his lawyer was not in court. Of course, his lawyer had representation in court, lawyers from his firm. How did you take that, those of you close to him, when you heard that his lawyer had written to the court that he will not be around on that day, and so the court should adjourn the proceedings or the judgment to a later date? What did you people close to him think? And the fact that he would not be around, and later on we heard he was attending the graduation ceremony of the daughter and all of that.
Well, I'm sure you answered it earlier. In fact, even on that day, that very day, I'm not sure lawyer Tachian was going to move any motion or make any application or whatever. So whether he was there or not, for me, it was immaterial. Yeah, it was immaterial. But I just want to come back to what you said earlier. You actually tried to situate the whole matter appropriately. But there are so many lingering questions. If I'm a leaseholder and I contract somebody, okay, to come and do hauling, to come and do blasting, does that amount to assignment of deed?
But you see, the issues may not be the same. He claimed that the people involved were to do land reclamation.
Yes.
And his own expert witness admitted to the fact that land reclamation was an expensive exercise. And also you needed a license or authorization to do the reclamation. Now, the gentleman said, no, the discussion was not about just reclamation. And he didn't give him money, or he didn't take money from him. And the discussion or agreement was that he would do the mining and he would use part of the proceeds to do the reclamation. And Wontumi never said, or he never indicated anywhere that he gave the gentleman money to do the reclamation. And the reclamation is it's work. The reclamation doesn't really bring money. It is expenditure. It's expensive.
Wontumi denied. Wontumi, if you read the judgment, Wontumi denied ever telling Henry Okun to mine the other side of the lease of the land to undertake the reclamation exercise. He denied
but that's just between the two of them. And so the judge said there was no direct evidence.
Exactly.
So the judge relied, and rightly so, on circumstantial evidence.
You cannot use circumstantial evidence to jail somebody on criminal charges.
Who said?
You have to be able to beyond reasonable doubt.
No, yes, reasonable.
Circumstantial evidence.
Yes.
Somebody's word against my word.
No, not circumstantial evidence is not somebody's word against your word. It's looking at the circumstances and drawing the conclusion that this particular conclusion is, or the facts available lead to a particular irresistible conclusion, which will be the only conclusion. And the conclusion will be incompatible with the innocence of the accused. So circumstantial evidence is being used in many criminal cases.
That is why we have the appellate body.
Yes. So for example, if somebody goes to maybe kill somebody, nobody is there to see it.
Yes.
But sometimes you can see the blood dripping, like you can see things, DNA, you can see a few things. And maybe just after it, you saw the guy walk through here. Somebody, you can put all of those things together to point to a particular direction.
I'm sure you might have read the O.J. Simpson case.
Look,
but the facts are very different.
So you see,
sell on.
Let him
so let me say something. The fact that somebody is supposed to undertake mining activity doesn't mean you are mining. Okay? If you're the leaseholder and you subcontract somebody that come and do this thing on my land, it doesn't amount to assignment of deed.
No, wait. But the gentleman was mining. So it was his word against Wontumi's word.
Yes.
But it was his word against Wontumi's word.
Yes. That is true.
Wontumi said he asked him to do land reclamation.
Yes.
And the gentleman said no. He asked him, the agreement was to mine and use some of the proceeds to do the reclamation. But on what basis did Wontumi ask him to do land reclamation? Did he give him money to do the reclamation?
So he's planted coconut
seedlings, yes.
More than 15,000 seedlings.
But there were parts which had to be reclaimed.
And see, all these things that we are saying, do you think the three of us, when we are put in separate rooms, all of us will come to the same conclusion?
About what?
that Wontumi told him to mine.
No, but that's
That is why it is always dangerous.
The fact, it's settled.
It is always dangerous.
No, it's a settled matter. Circumstantial evidence is being used to deal with even murder cases. It's a lot of the things will happen when you are not there.
So it makes nonsense of the fact that you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt.
No, the circumstantial evidence will help you prove beyond reasonable doubt.
No problem. That's why I'm saying that because we are going to go on appeal. I don't want to say
but the discussion really in legal circles hasn't been about circumstantial evidence, because it is a means of gathering evidence in criminal matters.
But the judge used circumstantial evidence to jail him.
Yes, but that's correct. It's done. That's what, so it's correct. I'm saying it's in respect of the evidence.
No problem.
As she could use circumstantial evidence.
Musa said something.
Yeah.
Okay. You know Adamu's money resources?
Mm-hmm.
Adamu's money resources had their lease revoked by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Why? Because an investigation carried out by the Minerals Commission came out that the mining company had brought Chinese people to undertake illegal mining. They had also assigned their deed to people without the express consent of the minister. In their case, the current government decided to just revoke their license. That's all. To the extent that Adamus is even fighting the minister that the report was not correct. So they have petitioned the government to take a second look at the report. Why not in the case of Chairman Wontumi? Why not in the case of Akonta mining? You think he doesn't deserve second chance? You think that he doesn't have the right to be heard outside the courtroom? Why didn't they opt to also revoke his license for him to also have a day, to also have the 90-day period to petition? But you decided to go after him. We are looking at what's going to happen to what's his name? Yamin. Yamin is the national organizer of the NDC. According to the Attorney General, National Security reports, media reports, and all sorts of reports have indicted them, seen them as the main kingpins of Galamsey. Together with one of the first vice national chairman of NDC, Abanga Yakubu. It's been a year since the Attorney General held a press conference, mentioning their names, and he said he had ordered the IOCO to undertake investigations. What has been heard about that?
We need to take a break. So yes, where do we go from here, Pusa?
I think Wontumi has the right to appeal, and he's doing so for sure. But I mean, from halfway through the trial, when he had to change his lawyer, I knew things were not going well. And then he got a new lawyer, and then on the very day that the trial, the ruling was going to come out, the judge was in abroad. I mean, it tells you how serious they took the client's case. I thought probably they thought that, I mean, there was no way out for the client, and they just didn't commit enough into defending their client very well.
Okay, so let me just give you a quote from the Wontumi's witness, who was an expert witness. He said, this is a question from the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General. In your expert opinion, does it cost money to reclaim a mined land? He said, definitely. Question, tell this court if you know how much does it cost to generally reclaim a 1 kilometer square piece of land? Answer, my lady, it differs from site to site. Question, can you give us a range? Answer, the range is specific to the ground conditions. Question, do you know, since you are so confident in your witness statement that A1, who is Wontumi, only authorized PW2 to carry out reclamation only and not mining and reclamation, if A1 has given any money to PW2 for the reclamation that he has asked PW2 to carry out on the concession? He said he had no idea about that. The judge analyzed. So the guy said, I funded the reclamation works using proceeds from my mining operations on the concession, and A1 was fully aware of that. So this is a court speaking. PW2 was not cross-examined on this critical piece of evidence. And if you leave out such important things, it raises issues. Neither did the first accused put before this court any evidence to show that he had advanced any money to PW2 to fund the reclamation. Thus, PW2 has maintained throughout the trial that first accused had permitted him to do two things in the concession, namely to mine for gold and use part of the proceeds to reclaim the damaged land. In fact, during cross-examination, the PW2 repeated his claim. Counsel for first and third accused did nothing about it. This was what happened. Let's hear it. Question: were you able to extract some gold in your operations? Answer: yes, of course. That was my aim of going there. Question: and when your staff were arrested from the site, they took away some amount of gold. Is that correct? Say, yes, my lady. Question: and this gold was not from illegal miners, but from your operations? Yes, my lady. Which meant that they were actually mining. I mean, time is flying. We'll take a short break. When we come back, your messages, are coming thick and fast. We read some of them and then jump into the budget, and we'll conclude with Musa's post. This is what the papers are saying. We'll be right back.
Ghana is built on stories. The dreams we chase, the challenges we face, and the change we demand. At Channel One TV, we bring these stories to light with truth, fairness, and courage. We listen, we question, we amplify. Because when your story is told, change begins. Channel One TV.
You're welcome back. This is what the papers are saying. My name is Salom Adun. A number of your messages have come through. Let me read a few of them. This one from Tony says, the anti-Galamsey crusaders who did everything to make sure Wontumi is jailed have done well. But if this doesn't stop Galamsey in the country, God will not forgive them, including those who are in government doing the same and those who have to make sure that Galamsey ends. Honorable Bosu Yao Akpache inside Nketepa says, I'm Honorable Bosu Yao Akpache from here. Mr. Host, good evening to you. Chairman Wontumi shouldn't be discussed at all. I wonder upon what Chairman Wontumi has done to the good people of Samurai Boy, and you are not feeling for the damage he caused. In fact, politics is not a good job. He has damaged and killed the people. That's what you say. His damage. I'm sure you damaged the place and the livelihood of people of Samurai Boy, and you are still supporting him on your medium. No, we are not supporting him. We are just discussing the matters. Dote Daniel says, good evening, Salom. Wontumi went through the court process and was found guilty. Why all this noise from the MPP? All the noise is just reverse psychology. His other cases will continue whether MPP likes it or not. Kwesi Alex from Tema Community 9 says, please kindly emphasize the fact that Chairman Wontumi was not jailed because of mere Galamsey, but because of not seeking proper documentation. Please, let's be clear. From Kwesi Alex. Well, I don't know what you're saying, but yes. So your messages are welcome. 020-444-7033 is the number. Now let's get to Parliament, and today the Midyear budget review was read. A few things were said. Government to scrap 20% excise duty on locally produced fruit juice. Government to build 10 new SHSs, upgrade 50 others under the $300 million loan, facilitate education to help the education sector, and a number of things. And as you expect, minority had its own say on the budget. They said it was empty. They said it was uninspiring, and it had nothing for Ghana. And indeed, Afeno Makin, the minority leader, could not resist the temptation of mentioning Wontumi and a few things, asking that Wontumi be released and that he was a political prisoner. The concern really from many people is that yes, the economy has been stable. The various indicators are showing good signs, but the effect is not being felt on the ground the way it should be felt. In essence, the figures are looking nicer than the feeling on the ground. Musa, will it take time, or did you listen to the budget review, and what were your takeaways?
Yes, I did listen to the budget review. And, every economist, unless you want to be dishonest, in the first year that he started the budget, want to stabilize the economy. After stabilization, it takes time before some of the fruit of the policies begin to yield physical or actual results. But regardless of what the delay is, I think we've seen some reprieve. I mean, if you look at the broader inflation figures, it's come down quite significantly and it's having an impact. The impact may not necessarily mean that prices are coming down. It means that the rate at which they were going down, they were going up before, has reduced, and that's quite a big thing. I mean, if you have an income that has not gone up by that much, with a higher inflation, then your disposable income completely disappears. That has improved a bit. And if you look at the numbers that was announced today, broadly and largely they are in line. The revenue targets are in line. I've heard a comment that they are slipping. But normally, annual revenues are not straight line. It's cyclical. So you may be slightly behind now if you do the normal 260 divided by 12. But some of the months will yield much more revenue than others. So it's not just straight line curve. But if you look at the numbers broadly, they are quite in line, which means the stability is being continued. And I believe that we should be able to sustain this towards the end of the year. When we do that, I think 2027 should be a year that people will lose patience to begin to see a lot of things happening. And in 2027, if nothing happens, I think there could be trouble.
I see. Gordon, what are your thoughts on the budget? Any takeaways for you?
Well, I couldn't really monitor it because of the situation in which we find ourselves in. Just that it would be hypocritical on the part of anybody to say that the government hasn't achieved anything on the economic front because of the figures, inflation, exchange rate. They are all down. But I think that if you compare the figures that we are having now and what we read in economics books and others, you will say, then what really is happening? It seems the correlation, we are not feeling that much. Because this is an economy where the government is still struggling to pay cocoa farmers. This is an economy where the health minister even says we are going to go back to the quota system, where we can't employ, we cannot recruit people into nursing training colleges because we don't have much money to pay the nurses. And so even though the schools have the capacity to admit, let's say, 1,000 students, we're going to give them quota. We're going to pay 600.
There are there's a backlog of nurses to be employed. Okay. Since 2021, nurses who completed school have been home.
No, not 2021. It started from 2014.
Okay,
yes.
So all of them, but I'm talking about those home now.
Yes.
I mean, they've been trying to clear them.
Yes.
So those home now, 2021 to 2025, they've been home. I think recently about 5,000 or 6,000 were employed or were recruited. So why do you keep training more if you are unable to deploy those who have completed?
Oh no, it's a sensible thing to do, but it is sensible because we don't have the money. It is sensible because we think that we cannot sustain it. You understand? But when you go to the hospitals,
you need the people.
We need the people. Nurse to patient ratio, we are lagging behind.
Yeah, but the argument is also that a lot of those people want to be in Accra and Kumasi and the capitals, when indeed you need them in the hinterlands. So it's when you go to the hinterlands that you feel this lack. And indeed, Ghana actually is doing well with the WHO nurse to patient ratio.
Who doesn't want to be in Accra or Kumasi?
So that's a bigger problem, and not a health minister's problem per se.
No. I'm a trained teacher. I'm a professional teacher. I was born and bred in Kumasi. I attended Wesley College. When I completed school, they sent me to Asante Achim South. Actually, I had to go. I taught for 3 years.
And you left eventually.
Yes,
now you're in Accra.
because that's what I told myself, that let me complete school. Let me do my thing. 3 years after that, then I left that, attended what do you call it, journalism school. It is the system. Haven't we had presidents come and go, promise that when you are deployed to the hinterland, you'll be giving incentives. Do they give to them?
So that's the problem. I see. So talking about the good numbers reflecting on the ground, what should we do? I mean, the cost of things in the market haven't improved as much as the figures have improved.
Yes.
Is it the attitude of the Ghanaian, or there's just a reason economically from the numbers why we are not feeling the reprieve the way we should?
Well, I think unfortunately a lot of people want to profiteer. You understand? And that has been for so many years. A lot of people want to profiteer. At times it was go higher, but when even the exchange rate comes down, it will still remain over there. Look at the argument by GPRTU over the years. In fact, when fuel prices come down, then they raise the issue, spare parts, this engine oil, and all manner of this. You understand? So for me, if we're having all these indicators, which are very good, I think they only satisfy the books. But to the ordinary people, we are not feeling that much. So for me,
so there should be more advocacy.
Yeah, there should be more advocacy.
Getting the figures down also in the market.
Because look, let me tell you. Good. We have yam. Don't we have yam all over?
But a lot of them are seasonal.
Of course.
Yeah. So when they are in season, maybe the price goes down.
Yes.
And when they are out of season, the price goes. So that's normal economics. But yes, now let's deal with our last matter. Musa has been rating MP. Some of them are not happy because obviously they didn't do well, and some nearly cried. Others feel happy because they've been rated highly by their MPs. Musa, why did you decide to do this?
Look, Selo, as part of the national tracking pool, when we do ask people to rate the president's performance, and also those of that of the government, we do ask them to rate their MPs as well in the same interview. We do that every time.
So now you are just taking it thought by thought. Thought
by thought. So, and in fact, if you look at what we've been doing in the past, it will get to that point where we present one slide showing a lot of indicators from that constituency to give the MP a hint of what might be going on. This time around, we just aggregated those who are saying excellent, very good, or good into one block and use that to rate the MPs. It is not my assessment. It is the assessment by your own constituents. In the case of some other people who assess MPs, they were using more technical kind of issues to judge the MPs. His contribution to the floor, committee work, and so on and so forth. For us, it is about what the people think about your performance.
So, for example, I mean, in Sawamedu Ejiru, their MPs scored 98%, followed by Tonon, 94%. You didn't include the names of the MPs, so not everybody will be able to.
Can you imagine if I put the names there?
Relate.
Can you imagine if I put the names
there?
So
if they are doing well, they will be happy. If they are not, they will not be happy. But
I mean,
we don't care.
People can Google Sawamedu MP and they will find the same.
I see. Tyne MP, 94%. Navrongo Central, 93%. Ofinso North, 91%. Kwando, 88%. Tano North, 88%. Pimwa, Chifu Atimokwa, 86%. Old Tafo, 85%. Akimodan, 83%. Buem, 81%. It goes on and on and on. And it goes to places like Asini Manso Akroso, 9%. Takrady, 9%. Yes.
He scored 9% when you combine his excellent, very good, and good.
So that's average.
No, his average score is poor, very poor, is 87%.
Oh, okay, but that's not bad.
Poor, very poor.
Poor,
yes. Or very poor. It's
yes. Wow.
It is
and Takrady,
okay.
13%.
Excellent.
15%. That's interesting. That's Chum's area. Achiasi, 16%. Bole Bamboy, 21%. That's the deputy lands and mines minister's place. In Shaiso, 23%. So this is Tiker's place. Stephen Amoa. Joabin, 25%. Subin, 29%. Pusiga, 29%. Pusiga, 30%. Fantiakwa South, 31%. Mensha North, 31%. It goes on and on. Yendi, my friend Jofa, 34%. You'll not be happy with you. See you. All right. So that's it. Let me take a few of your messages that have come through.
Yeah, I want to make a comment.
Okay, quickly.
Did you attend University of Ghana?
No, I didn't. I attended Cape Coast.
Okay, so at University of Ghana, level 100, you do numeracy skills. That's mathematics. And apart from numeracy skills, the course I dreaded most was research methods. I'm wondering how he does it.
I think he has a system.
Every other day, Musa is able to churn out something.
It is not Musa. It is a global info analytics. It's a company with about 50 people working there every day.
And like he said, so maybe there was a poll sometime back. He asked a number of questions.
There are so many questions. So
this one, for example,
they will have to visit you.
Yes, you should. In fact, you are invited.
Yes. And for me, I don't rubbish any poll or research or prediction or whatever. I take them in my stride and I say, let me look at this thing and then how to better myself.
Very well.
So you're welcome.
Let me take a few of your messages that have come through. Daniel from Ho said the decision of the court to impose a sentence on Wontumi, as confirmed by the legal process, must be viewed through the lens of justice and fight against illegal mining, which has caused severe damage to Ghana's environment and natural resources. Okay, you go on and on, but that's fine. Honorable Muagu, it says, good evening to you and your guests and cherished listeners. I'm watching you live from Banyami, Tamale North. Chairman Wontumi was sentenced based on facts and evidence available to the court. So MPP should give us a break. Regards to the hardworking member of parliament, Alasan Suini of Tamale North, and the chief of staff, Julius Debra, you say. Jerry Finn in Takwa says, let Gordon know that the Minerals and Mining Act holds the mine owner responsible for any illegality or infractions that happens on his mine. Therefore, it is right Wontumi is punished for the harm caused by his subcontractor. If Wontumi is not a political prisoner, then what happens to the NDC members who were referred to Iyoko? Garibu Musa from the Upper East says, and this one from David from Kofrodia says, if it is truly about fighting Galamsey, as they want us to believe, why weren't the two witnesses convicted? Two witnesses?
They were used as prosecution
witnesses. So it's part of the view.
And so for me, whatever that they said in court, I took it with a pinch of salt.
No,
they could have been coached.
Not necessarily, but that's why the judge.
They should have been prosecuted.
That's why the judge is there.
To be used
the
as prosecution
the judge
witness.
looks at everything. The judge is not under any obligation to take hook, line, and sinker what a witness says.
Yes.
That's why the judge is trained to watch and listen to everything you are saying and puts everything together to come to a certain conclusion. Well, this is how we conclude today's edition of the program. My name is Selom Adonu. My guests, Musa Dankwa and Gordon Asari Bediako. Have a good evening.